All right. At this time, I'd like to introduce former Viking coach and Hall of Champions class of 2002 inductee Ron Alice, who are presenting our next inductee, Marcus Hooks. Come on up to the stage, Ron and Marcus. Escorting Marcus to the stage is current track and field athlete Damon Burns. Damon is his first year of competition at Long Beach City College as a sprinter and jumper, and hopes to lead the team to a state championship.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak about somebody who was very, very special in our program. I've already been subtly told to be brief, so I'll try to do that. You're looking at one of the finest community college athletes ever in history in his particular area of specialization. You can look in your program, and I'm not going to read that off to you, but you can see what I'm talking about. He was out of Lakewood High School. In fact, he was male athlete of the year in the city of Lakewood. At the same time, the female athlete of the year was Lisa Fernandez, who ended up being a pretty good softball player. So I would say that that was a pretty good year for athletic ability in the city that he came from. As you can see, he was school record holder. He represented the United States in the World Youth Championships, won it. He never was defeated, except for one little glitch at Mount Sac. Outside of that, no one ever touched this young man. He jumped over 54 feet in the triple jump. Today, he could line up against any Division I program in the country and still be in the top group in America. That's a long time ago that he competed, yet his performances were way ahead of the curve and ahead of the time. He went on from here to Fresno State, outstanding competitor and performances while he was at Fresno State. He stayed on in that city, and from there, he's gone into coaching. You can see the various places that he's coaching in Fresno. He's giving back, because I think that for all of you're hearing kind of a thread run through all of these people. This 2-year period that you spend at this institution makes a big difference in what happens athletically as well as the maturity level that goes on academically. And these young people that you've heard already, you can see what this meant. A lot of us have gone, including myself, came through here. And you know what? You remember the instructors and the professors that you had when you were here. And that's the case here. Marcus Hooks is one of the greatest track and field athletes ever to be a part of this program. And I might add, there's a reason why he was the best in America. There's a gentleman's picture sitting out here in the Hall of Fame by the name of Baruch Elias, who was the best jump coach in America. And he was at Long Beach City College. And I thank the administration for bringing a man to this country who at 56 didn't have credentials, didn't speak English really well, but he was the best coach in the world. And I might add, the group that he came in with, I had 6 high school All-Americans that came in his recruiting class. I had one non-All-American, Mr. Lynn back there, but guess what? That's what this is exactly what Long Beach City College is all about. He won the state steeple. That team that he was a part of in his 2 years here could line up against any Division I program in the country and be in the hunt. I know I would have loved to have had some of the talent in the last 19 years that I had during my 16-year, and the time that he was here, unbelievable, unbelievable. So at this point in time, I want to introduce the most outstanding triple jumper in the history of Long Beach City College, Marcus Hooks.
Thank you. I mean, how do you follow that? Short but sweet. My 2 years here at City College was some of the best times of my life. Getting a chance to run for Coach Alice and Baruch Elias, memorable times. And if I can go back and do it all over again, be 18, 19-year-olds, I'll do it in a hot second. I want to thank a few people that are very important to me. First and foremost, I'd like to thank God. Without him, I wouldn't be here today. I'd like to thank my mother, Jackie Jenkins, who has passed away, but she's always in my heart. I miss her very much. and also my dad, James Hooks, who didn't get a chance to make it here tonight, but he still, congratulated me. He had to work, so he didn't get a chance to congratulate me. I'd like for my family to stand up, please, my wife and kids. I'd like to introduce them. I'd like to thank my lovely wife, Buffy, for being there for me through all the things in my life. I love her very much. I love my 3 kids, my daughter, Alexandria, my son, Julian, and our little one, Jaden there. I want to thank 2 men, very important men in my life that molded me, Coach Ron Alice and Coach Baruch Elias. I got into coaching because of them. I still use their methods with my kids. I'm not as hard on them as some of the workouts we have, but I still use some of the methods, and I try to explain to them about what it's like to be a Viking at Long Beach City College. Being from Fresno, they don't understand the work ethic that we had here at this team for these 2 years here with these guys. But I've learned to coach the ways that they taught me, and I use that also as a parent and other ways in life, in my job and working and all those things in life. I'd like to thank my teammates from Long Beach City College from the year of 87 and 88. Those are my brothers. We're going to always be brothers for life, Vikings for life. We keep in touch with each other on Facebook. Always talk about maybe having a reunion sometime. Try not to run, but just to get together and talk. But we keep in touch with each other. My friend Billy, he ran with us in 88. We went to high school together, and he was one of our distance runners. Like Coach said, he ran distance, never ran steeplechase, and we needed somebody to do it that year, and he said, well, I'll do it. Ran it and ended up winning the state meet. That's how much talent we had on the team and how good the coaches were. They'd motivate you. When you didn't think you were good at something, they would make you feel that you can just run through a brick wall. And I tell you, I would run through a brick wall for Ron Alice. Even at 46, I'll do it. It'll hurt, but I'll do it. And last but not least, I'd like to thank the committee of Long Beach City College for inducting me in this Hall of Champions. It's an honor, and I feel blessed today. I'm a little nervous. I'm sure the other guys probably was too, but I'm honored. I'm seeing some of the old coaches and some of the old faces, and I remember some of you guys, and hopefully, me and my family can get back down here, spend some more time with you. So you guys have a blessed night. Thank you.
Ron, you missed your photo op. Returning to the stage once again, Coach Jim Murphy to present the Evening This honoree, Brian Williams. Brian is escorted to the stage by current football player Ahmad Redeemer, a graduate of Buena Park High School, where he holds the school records for single-season passing yards and touchdown passes. Coach Murphy.
It is always a pleasure to introduce one of your own athletes. I'm one of the defensive coaches, and I coached defensive line here for years, and Brian is one of my athletes. I might interject at this point that none of the great athletes that are in the Hall of Fame here probably would not have been great athletes, even though they had great athleticism. But if they didn't have a great family, they didn't have great character, they had great drive, and a great support staff that aided them to develop themselves to the ability. Brian is a young man who is a great football player. He played on a great defense, of which 9 out of 11 starters on that defense at Long Beach City College were scholarship athletes to the NC2A Division I. So he was a freshman with that group. Brian came to us from Banning High School. He was all Marine League. He was all CIF. For 2 years, he started every game at Long Beach City College at defensive end. In those 2 years, he received many accolades and many honors. He was twice All-Conference, twice All-State. As a freshman, he was selected to the All-American second team, and as a sophomore, he was elected to the first team All-American He was the defensive player in our conference. He was selected as the Willie Davis State of California Football Player of the Year, which is the top award given to football players in the state of California. Not only was he a great athlete, he was an honor student, and I commend his family for having such a great young man. And I had the privilege of working with him, and he's a great friend. He served as a football coach by giving back to his community at Southeast High School in Illinois. He coached there from 1992 to 2000. He still gives back to his community. I asked him if I wanted to have him tell you this, but he's the warden at the federal prison outside of Las Vegas, and he's been there for quite a few years, right? And so I've had the great pleasure of helping this young man develop, but at the same time, he came along and was a great privilege for us to have here at Long Beach City College. A player like Brian makes you a great coach. I think great coaches have great athletes, and therefore they make you great. And he's one that has done that here and to this staff and to myself. And it's my pleasure now to introduce to you Brian Williams.
Good evening, everyone. My nephew's in front, he's gonna make me laugh. But I had to write my speech out just because I have a lot that I want to say, and I'm so glad that we have some athletes here, because I remember when I was their age and attending Long Beach City. The first thing I want to do is give thanks and praise to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who is the center of my life. I mean, I'll always have been the best Christian, but even in my times of indiscretion and wandering, you continue to love and bless me. I owe all that I have and all that I am to you. I want to introduce my family as well, because without my mom and dad, I mean, I could have went this way or I could have went that way, but they've always encouraged me and always pushed me. So at this time, I want my mom, Ann Williams, and my dad, Lloyd Williams, to stand. I also have my wife, Gretchen, my son, Brian, daughter, Colin, my nephews, my sister, Helena, and my boys, Leland and James, Josh, Caleb. Thank you guys for being here, and my auntie, Jewel. I am so humbled and greatly honored to stand before you today, being elected into the 2014 Long Beach City College Hall of Champions. I would like to thank the Hall of Champions Executive Committee for this most remarkable honor. I would also like to congratulate the other inductees as well. To my mom and dad, who also deserve much thanks and praise for all the values and character you have instilled in me that have made me who I am today. Your Christian outlook, your love, and discipline helped build the foundation of who I am and what I have become. To my little sister, Helena, thank you for being the annoying little sister that you were and for always supporting and loving me. You've always been there and always had my back. To James and Leland, my partners in crime, I thank you for being the brothers who've always pushed me. James, for the heart of a champion, always the littlest one in our bunch, but always had the heart of a champion. And Big Leland, always hated to lose. These traits I have taken from both of you. Thank you. To Coach Jim Murphy, I didn't know where I was going to go when I came out of Bandy High School. I was playing in the Lions All-Star game, and Coach Murphy approached me on the field. I played offensive line. I hated offense. But at Bandy High School, you got in where you fit in, because we had so many other talented athletes there. Murphy came up to me, sold me his speech on, you can come there and be a defensive lineman. I said, well, I want to play defensive line. How did he know? But nevertheless, I came here. And I want to thank you, Coach Murphy. The things that I learned from him, I teach to my kids today. High school and Pop Warner, the same techniques that he taught me. He always challenged me to be all that I could be, always reminding me that I was a student first and an athlete second. Thank you, Coach. My speech, the reason why I'm so happy that the younger college students are here, because I'm gonna take a different twist. I'm not gonna get into all the athletics and all the things that we did athletically, but I wanna talk about the education that I received here at Long Beach City, as well as through my Illinois days. But like most kids, I pictured my future as a successful person. Didn't know what it was that I would become, but I pictured myself sitting behind a desk in a suit and giving orders. I had a beautiful wife and family, lived in a big, beautiful house, and had a nice car. It then dawned on me, how in the hell am I going to do all this? How was it that my parents were able to provide so much to me and my sister? While in the midst of all this dreaming, my dad was giving me an ultimatum. Go to school and you can stay at home, or find a job and move out at the end of summer. At that moment, I realized I wasn't ready to move out. So I chose to go to college, and while there, I thought I'd play a little football. As a student athlete, I was actually more focused on getting my degree than on playing football. Not until halfway through my freshman year did I realize that I could continue my education and play and do both successfully. When it finally clicked, I thought, the world is mine for the taking. However, to ensure success, whether professionally in corporate America or in football, my best chance would be to graduate college with my degree. As I began my sophomore year, I was being recruited by over 20 different schools. It was the best time of my life, with everyone telling me how they saw me fitting into their program. Life was truly good. I had my mind made up, and I was going to attend USC and become a Trojan. I was signed, sealed, and delivered. However, it didn't work out that way. Throughout my life, I was always unsure of some of the decisions I had made as a young man. For whatever reason, my mom and dad never interfered, but allowed me to make my own decisions and learn from my mistakes and revel in my victories. Like my choice to attend Long Beach City College rather than El Camino City College, my choice to choose University of Illinois rather than USC, and my decision to stay in Illinois rather than return back to California to live. All these decisions played a significant role in who and what who I am today, and have made me a better man, husband, and father. Choosing Long Beach City College allowed me to focus more on my education than socializing with my high school classmates. No, I didn't win a national championship, as El Camino College did that year, but I did acquire my Associate of Arts degree. By choosing Illinois over USC, no, I didn't win 2 Pac-10 championships and go to the Rose Bowl, but I did acquire my bachelor's degree. In today's world, so many of our young people are focused on the material things that have minimal effect and meaning for their future. Don't get me wrong, I would have loved to have had these accomplishments and awards to place on my mantle or trophy case, but having my degree to place on my wall in my office means so much more. Having been able to get a college education that helped catapult me into the workforce has proven to be far more beneficial to me and my family. There were times when I questioned why I worked so hard to acquire my degree. I worked at places like Alice Campbell and Manpower Temporary Job Services, a sheet metal shop in a small remote town in Salisbury, Illinois. Finally, one day, I applied for a substitute teaching position that required a degree. My next job also required a degree, and ultimately what was to be my career job, also a choice with Sangamon County Probation and Court Services and law enforcement. From there, my life and my career took off. During this time, my wife and I had just had our 3rd child, and soon after, the last of the bunch. As parents, we always stress the importance of an education and having a plan. Many of us have looked back on those decisions we've made and wish we could have those negative choices back. But what many do not understand is that an important part of the determination to succeed is the willingness to fail, and the confidence to see every failure as just temporary and definitely something to learn from and move on after. Failure is not fatal. Some people see better than they hear, but I say to encourage you to do both. The Bible says in Isaiah 30:21, whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. This exemplifies both hearing what is right and then walking it out. In this day and time, there's absolutely no substitute for a good education, regardless of what you may think and the sacrifices you must make to acquire it. Walking in it fostered my dedication to education and career building, which has brought me to where I am today. The warden of Southern Desert Correctional Center, one of the largest medium custody penal institutions in the state of Nevada, with a staffing of 362 employees and an inmate population of about 2,300. And you add on that, I'm the only black warden in the state of Nevada, and I have been for the last 12 to 13 years. This position and the work it took to achieve it required all my education, inherent talents infused in me by my Father God. If I've done nothing else, I hope I have left behind an example that by the way I have lived my life, both for this generation as well as for that of my children and my children's children. Isaiah also says in verse 31, they will soar on the wings like eagles, they will run and not grow weary, they will walk and not be faint. To Stephen, Kendall, Colin, and Brian II, I love you and wish you all nothing but the best and success and happiness in your life's walk. To my lovely and beautiful wife of almost 25 years, Gretchen, thank you for your love and your continued support and daily motivation. When I became complacent, you encouraged me to keep striving for bigger and better things. When I doubted myself, you reassured me. When I focused more on disciplining the kids, you showed me how to love and to show up and show out my softer side when dealing with our children. Lastly, to all my friends and family who have played a role in molding me into the man I am today, I say thank you.
At this time, it is my pleasure to bring to the stage the coach of our defending South Coast Conference champion baseball team, Casey Crook, to present inductee Tommy Peel. Tommy is escorted to the stage tonight by sophomore baseball player Julian Griego. Julian posted a 5-0 record with a 1.01 ERA on last year's conference championship team.
I get emotional at these things, that's all right. Hey, Julian just signed a letter of intent to play Division I baseball next year at Houston Baptist, so good for Julian. All right, see if I can get through this. Huh? I got a confession to make. I'm a little jealous of Tommy Peel. All right, he comes here from Milliken. He's in the top 10 category for a lot of hitting statistics here at the college. The top 5 of probably all the pitching statistics. Well, I know he is. He has the best, people don't realize this, the best individual season in the history of California junior college baseball in 2006. When he's leading his team to a state championship, and I don't just mean lead statistically, he was the leader of that team. I said he led his team. He was more his team than it was my team. You got to have great player leadership to have a great team. These aren't the reasons I'm jealous of Tommy. I'm not even jealous that he's a great guy from a great family or that he's expecting his first child any couple months now. My youngest son, Dylan, is about 5 years old when Tommy's playing here. And he had a massive little boy crush on Tommy Peel. He talked about Tommy constantly, followed him around the field every time he was out there. He had to have a picture with Tommy Peel in his uniform. And what I'm jealous of is I don't think he's ever had to have a picture with me in my uniform. So that's Tommy Peel, leader of the team, great guy. And so I'm going to introduce to you inductee into our Hall of Champions, Tommy Peel.
All right, thank you all for coming. What Brian just said, that's my speech. No, I'm kidding. Great job, everybody else. Congratulations to all the other inductees as well tonight. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Sorry for being a little late. Got off work, worked 12 hours. Told people in the oil field that I had some at my old college tonight, and they said, what's college? So gives you a taste of where I was coming from. But yeah, so first, I got to thank everybody that came out for me tonight. Coach Crook, of course, Mrs. Crook, thank you very much. Paul and Deb, basically my aunt and uncle. Paul was such a big help to me after Long Beach City when I was a broke college student, also a broke minor league baseball player. You wouldn't know, but behind the scenes, Paul helped me out. Him and my dad helped me out just an amazing amount, financially, mentally, and everything. So thank you. Coach Kinder from Milliken. I mean, if you don't know Coach Kinder, you're missing out. He is the man. When we got Coach, him and Coach Myers, he left for 30 minutes. I didn't know where you went, but I was kind of scared. Good. I'm glad you're back. And his son, Bob and Bob Sr. I wish I could take a nap too, Coach. But when Coach picked up these two, and I'd already known them, I didn't know them. Well, I knew Coach Kinder personally. I knew Coach Myers decently. Sorry if I'm too close, but right when we got them, I knew for a fact, because I had told Coach Myers when I saw him in the hall, he was doing the special needs, I believe, or the rehab stuff in the hall, and I saw him one day, and he was like, "Hey, Tommy, I heard you guys doing some special things over there." I said, "Coach, we're going to win state, like, hands down, no doubt about it." And he was like, "Well, I think I might be a part of it, you know?" And then Coach Crook is like, "Well, yeah, Myers is coming out." And I was like, "It's over," because we hadn't won state here in 30 years, and the last head coach at Long Beach City College baseball to win state was fellow champion Bob Myers. So once we got him, I knew it was set and done, him and Kinder. So thank you guys. My beautiful girlfriend, Randy, thank you for coming out. She is pregnant. New Year's Eve, gonna have a baby boy. Can't wait. The man, Terry Berry. Some of you might know her as my baby grandma. Christina, one of my best friends ever, and my catcher for my whole entire life, Derek Junghandle. My sister Katie. I guess my baby auntie, Rebecca. My mother and father, who have basically been my backbone my whole life. So thank you all for coming. And actually, Chris is in the stands too. Chris Ruiz, he was our photographer / article writer when I played here, 2005, 2006. Got to give you some love. Although in 2005, when we were decent, we had to wait probably every 4 or 5 games to get an article from this guy. But then, all of a sudden, 2006, we went 41-10, which in baseball is pretty good. So once we were about 25-6 or something, we started getting articles every game, and it was kind of nice. We were looking forward to those, Chris, and we really appreciate them. And I'm glad you're still here. You still must be doing something right. So, thank you. Let's see. First time I ever set foot in this gym. Let's see. For me, I know plenty of stories because it was just 10 years ago, or not even. It was 9 or 8, whatever. But first time I ever set foot in this gym, I want to say I was a freshman in high school or sophomore, because I'm born and raised Long Beach, California, right down the street. The reason I came here is just, it was too easy. I didn't have a car. My buddies were coming here. It was just way too easy. So right up the street. Well, of course, I wanted to wear Long Beach across my chest, win a state championship for Long Beach, but I got to watch Aaron Aflalo and Jordan Farmar play high school basketball in this gym. And if nobody knows who they are, UCLA, big UCLA fan, both in the NBA. And so to me, this gym holds something special because also 2005, they're all gone now, but I was one of them, the people that are waiting on us. I got to watch Coach Myers get inducted, and I got to watch my high school baseball coach get inducted because I had to work 2 years in a row, 05 and 06. Coach made me work, one, because I was only 17, I couldn't do our other fundraisers, so he had me up here being a waiter. So this gym, I think I was only in here 3 times. Sorry, I never came to any basketball games, but we were busy over there on the baseball field. So now the 4th time in this gym, I'm getting inducted into the Long Beach City Hall of Fame, which when I was watching Coach Myers and Coach Pete give their speeches, I was like, I wonder what I'm going to say when I get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And so far, just been winging it. But so, all right, so since I live so close to school, just want to give another shout out to my mom and dad. They'd have the team over, well, they didn't know the team was over, but they'd go to work every day early. I'd wake up, a couple guys would come over early. So, Tom, what are you gonna do today? And I was like, man, we got class in like 2 hours. And they're like, yeah, we're out of class. And I'm like, well, I gotta go. So one of them would take me to class. Sometimes they'd hang out at the house. My beautiful sister Katie would be making food, and she'd have her select few people that got to eat. Only, you know, she liked you got to eat. If you didn't, you didn't. But I'm not lying. Sometimes we'd have like 10 of the guys over at the house. So besides that, everything else you've done for me, thank you. But that's just a short little story. And then my boy Derek. I got a story about Derek that, I mean, it might be PG-13, but I'm going to tell it anyway. So don't be mad. I was, I think, 7 years old when I first met Derek. He's been my catcher when I was 8, we were 9, we were 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Went to Milliken together. And then I was 1 year or 1 grade ahead, so I got him to come here when I was a sophomore, when I knew what was brewing. We had a decent, well, I'd say we have 7 or 8 guys that I knew that could play ball, and all we needed was like 4 or 5 more. And coach said whatever he said about my pitching stats. Well, you don't have peanut butter without jelly, right? You don't have steak without a potato. Am I correct? You don't have a pitcher without a catcher. It just doesn't happen. You don't understand how much better this dude makes pitchers. If you look at my stats, yeah, they're good. You look at our number 2, man, right behind me. Number 3, right behind me. This dude caught a staff that went 41-10, had an ERA of under 1.5 or whatever, and everyone was surprised, but he's been doing it for me my whole life. As a pitcher, when you can pitch, and I don't know if anybody really knows ball, but when you can throw 2 ball lengths this much off of the corner, and your catcher can make it look like a strike to the umpire, for me as a pitcher who could throw wherever I wanted to, and had a pitching coach, Nate Fernley, who's also a Hall of Famer, as last year a Hall of Champion. He didn't show up, he big leagued me, which is usually what he does. But with him calling the games and Derek catching me, I mean, I'm not trying to say I was that good. It was just that combination was unbelievable. Derek, I'll just jump right into it. State championship. Win the first game. Derek catches a ball somewhere around here, right? He's catching, so you can imagine he's squatting down. And it's at night after the first game, and his sister is talking to me. She's like, hey, Tom, Derek's left. Sorry, D. Left, what's the proper term? I guess ball is like a grapefruit. I'm sorry that I'm even going here, and I was like, all right, that's cool. And she's like, no, he's not going to play tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, right. You know, she's trying to tell me he's not going to play. We win the game, we get into the state because it's a Final Four. So we win one more game, we're in the championship game. She's trying to tell me he won't play. Got to go up to the room, got to see him, blah, 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 this and that. I'm like, no, I'm not going to see him. Derek's playing. I know my boy. It's the biggest game of our lives. We've played over 1,000 games together. 100% he's going to play tomorrow. And she's like, my mom said he's not playing. Kristen, his beautiful wife, says he's not playing. And I don't think he should play. And I was like, well, all right. So I go back to my room, not even worried about it. Shoot him a text later, I think. I wish we still had it. And I was like, you're playing tomorrow, right? And he's like, yeah, it just hurts a little bit. And so it just shows how the girls blow it out of proportion. But so actually they didn't, but he's, no pun intended, sacked up and played. And but just to show how important he was to me was that we were up 10-1. We were playing Cypress. Cypress was the #1 team in the state. All we ever heard about was Cypress. We beat them twice that year, so sorry about it. Looks like we were number one. But we're winning 10-1 or 9-1 or something. I'm pitching, and so we're up. So coach is like, hey, we got to get Derek out. We got to give him a break. We got one more tomorrow. They take him out, and all of a sudden I've walked 5 guys. You know what I mean? I walked, 10, 12 guys all year, and then in 2 innings I walked 5 guys because Derek is not catching me. You could blame it on the umpire, you could blame it on me missing my boy Derek, but either way, those are the stats, those are the facts. I got pulled out of the game because Derek was out of the game. So I think that just shows 100% who my jelly was to the peanut butter that year, you know what I mean? So to end it, or to end my part, what I got from these coaches here at Long Beach City College, like others have stated, is that I barely remember my teachers. I remember 1 or 2, and she told me I was horrible at public speaking in speech 10. So if this is any good, please send her the video. But no, so from Coach Myers, Coach Fernley, even Coach Peters, who is not here or didn't coach here but played here, got me a Milliken, Coach Kinder, and Coach Crook. What I do on the field is obvious where I got it from. You know, just little things you see, you'd say, okay, we know that's from him, we know that's from him. But what I'm going to take to the last 10 years of my life, I played ball. The next 10 years of my life, I hope that I could be half the fathers and husbands and girlfriends, or boyfriends, sorry, that they are to their family, and that's what I take from them. What they did off the field is what I'm looking to do for the next 20 years of my life. So thank you again. Thank you everyone for coming, and sorry I dragged it out.
All right. Well, I have an interesting story I'd like to tell. No. What I'd like to do now is bring Coach Ron Alice back to the stage to introduce the next class of 2014 inductee, Joe Carlson. Escorting Joe to the stage tonight is our top men's cross-country runner, Omar Torres. Omar has led the men's cross-country team to the state championship race held in Fresno next Saturday.
I cannot follow that act. I will love to have him throwing something for me. That's all I got to say. That's a winner. Okay, I have the great pleasure of introducing somebody that, you know, if you look in your program and so on, it states he was all conference cross-country and track and field here at Long Beach City College. But what you really don't realize is what this man has done for distance running in this community. His contributions as a pioneer, and I mean that very distinctly, he's been a leader by example as an athlete, and you can look at some of those accolades that you see in your program, and I'm trying to move this along. But the issue is his leadership in distance running and in track and field in this community has been tremendous. In addition to promoting, you can do by example, you can lead and so on, but he has promoted this sport as much as anybody in this city. And let me say something here is that, you know, first of all, I didn't always have the guys with the highest GPA, and that's why I brought him aboard to coach for me. You know, he was the first coach, you know, prior to Title IX and so forth, or just about the introduction of Title IX at Long Beach State after he was still running, but came out and coached and started in the women's program at Long Beach State. And when I came in this direction, he came with me. And so he has always had a tremendous influence on the people he works with. A couple other things, too, that I think that whether you understand or not, to say that, you know, that you are runner of the year in Southern California in the United States track and field, and also, got second place in 1977, and we've already talked about Magdalena and what her impact has been as an Olympian and so forth, and developed in this program. Joe Carlson developed in this program in many, many ways. What you don't know is there's a lot of other things he did, not only as an athlete, but he also was a businessman in this town. He started one of the first, or took over one of the running experience, which was a running store in Belmont Shore. It's still there. It's got a different title now, called the Runner's High. He promoted and sponsored so many, many races in this town. During the Grand Prix, when I was mixing around trying to put on 5 and 10Ks and so on, he helped promote those things. Out of that group came, a group at the YMCA that he literally brought aboard. They drafted him and said, you can't coach anymore because you got to come and be our chairman of the Long Beach Marathon. This gentleman put on and conducted and was the chairman of one of the finest marathons on the West Coast, and put on every year. Now currently conducted by Bob Seaman, who was a pole vaulter. No offense, Ripley, but I've never known a vaulter to go much further than about 45 feet down a runway. But anyway, Joe did, and did a tremendous job for everybody. The other thing is that you don't understand, he conducted camps in Catalina for years and years with high school athletes and so on. He also took a year where he was literally in a one-room high school in Catalina and taught and administered and so forth in Catalina for a year, came back and got into the administration and got into teaching. And what he developed, started as an athletic director, then became principal at Long Beach Poly High School, which has fed an awful lot of athletes into this institution. And the distance program currently right now at Long Beach Poly, pretty special, especially in distance area in an inner city school. But all of that started and encouraged from somebody that went from athletic director to principal. He's been in the business world. He's been a director of the marathon. He has been a great, great athlete. He has represented Long Beach City College as well as any person that's ever come out of here in terms of his impact on this sport. And I introduce at this point in time somebody who I think has been very, very special and continues to be special to the sport of track and field, and in particular to distance running. Thank you. Joe Carlson.
Thank you so much, Ron, for your introduction. I appreciate it. Be talking about Ron in a second. Again, I'm going to repeat what's been said many times before. Thank you to the committee for allowing me to be part of the Long Beach City College Hall of Champions. It's been a long time since I've been recognized as an athlete. I'm pretty old, 63 years old, and my fast days are behind me, and probably 1977 was about the last time that I was fast. So it's been a while, and I greatly appreciate it. Long Beach City College is an institution that is rich in its athletics and its academics, and I'm so proud to be a part of that history here with a plaque on the wall, with my name engraved, and to be part of this fine group of people who are being inducted with me this evening. A lot has been said tonight that I could repeat, but I'm going to try to keep my remarks as short as possible. Basically, what I've heard about a lot tonight is the woman and gentleman that have come up here this evening have talked about the people who have taught them, who have instructed them in athletics and in life, how they have spent time here at Long Beach City College with good people in terms of their teammates, in terms of their teachers and their coaches. And lastly, how they have taken that and they have carried it on to who comes next. And I think that's really what we're here for, is to say that what makes us champions is taking those gifts that we have and taking those relationships that we've built and passing them on. That is our calling. And so I'd like to recognize those from my past who are here, those who are my contemporaries, and those who build our future. So I'm going to introduce the people at my tables here and just say some really brief things about them because it's late and I'm old. First of all, I'd like to thank Gary Gaudet. Gary was my coach at St. John Bosco High School in track and cross country. And Gary taught me a lot about running. He taught me about teams. He taught me about the pain of being a distance runner, even though he was a sprinter. He was my mentor. He is the reason why I pursued what I pursued in my life, which was coaching and teaching. And for that, I thank you, Gary. The other old guy was already up here, and that's Ron Alice. And Ron talked a little bit about how I joined him at Long Beach State. What he didn't mention when I came to Long Beach State was that I only had 4 years of coaching experience at Western High School under my belt. And I went to Long Beach State, and he handed me a group of middle distance runners and said, "Here, Joe, these guys are yours." And these guys were really talented, and he displayed that trust in me that boosted my confidence and made me feel like I can really make it as a coach. And we had a lot of great times together. We had a lot of great athletes and a lot of great championships. And Ron, I thank you for all of that. Thank you so much. When I was here at Long Beach City College, and I think probably Joe Lanning has been here every year until this for the inductions. And I'm sad that Joe isn't here tonight. Ron actually gave him a call this afternoon and handed me the phone, and my former teammate and I both got to talk to Joe a little bit, and he sounds just like he did back in the day. And those of you who had Joe as a coach or a teacher, the thing you remember is that booming voice. And Joe was a track coach, but he came to all the cross-country meets. And it didn't matter how far out in the hills you were at Pierce College. You were well past the pigsties. And you thought you were all alone and you're chasing somebody, and you hear, "Carlson, that's a renegade in front of you. Get him now." Joe was just such a powerful, powerful man, and yet such a gentle soul. And his legacy lives on in so many of us, and if Joe was here tonight, I'd love to be able to thank him for that as I did this afternoon. My contemporary, Ron Sasser, sitting over here with my other teammate, Willie Harmatz, who was honored earlier today. And Ron and I had a lot of great times here at Long Beach City College, most of which I can't share with you. But we, this afternoon, reminisced about some of those things that we did that we maybe shouldn't have done. But mostly, we ran together, we had great times, we had great teammates. And Ron and I later became roommates after getting out of college. And I really appreciate all the time that I spent with Ron, and I look to continue with him in the future. Ron is now a Milliken cross-country and track coach, cross-country coach, and he's doing a great job over there, and I'm so happy for him to have this opportunity at this point in his life. So Ron, great to have you here. My other contemporary is Tom Lacey. Tom was cross-country and track coach at San Pedro High School back in the day. Like me, he was a store owner. That's where we met, was selling shoes. And we've run a lot on the trails and the roads, and we continue to get slower and slower and run together. And it's great that you're here, Tom, and Tom's here with his lovely wife, Nancy. So thank you for being here, Tom. As we look to the future, I'm really happy that there's a couple of guys here. Natan Burstell, who I coached at Long Beach Poly in track, and Mike Filippo, who I sold him his first pair of great running shoes when I had my running store. They were the same ones that Alberto Salazar ran in, and Mike had to have those. And these guys have taken over a program, Mike on the boys' side for cross country from Coach George Wright, who was an amazing coach himself. And Natan took my young ladies when I went into administration. And these guys have built Long Beach Poly Cross Country into a force to be reckoned with. They haven't lost a meet. Well, 15 years between them in a row that they've won every level of cross country in the Moore League. And to Mike and Natan, thank you for taking the torch and making it ever brighter. And their lovely wives, Amy Filippo and Becky Burstell, thank you for coming. And last but not least, I think I'm there, yay, my family who's here this evening. Paying it back doesn't come easy. Teaching kids, spending that extra time, it's something that is not a commitment of one person, but as has been mentioned before, it's a commitment of a family. Our kids, Jeff and Katie, when Debbie and I were putting on those events that Ron was talking about earlier, I don't know how many times they woke up in the back of a van at a starting line or a finish line where we were doing something at a cross-country meet. Whatever it might be, we drugged them all around while we did things for the community. And I sincerely thank you for your support, young people. Accompanying Katie this evening is her husband, Rafa. Thank you for coming, Rafa. And last but not least, again, my lovely wife, Debbie Hughes, who is not so much a supporter as a partner in everything I've done. We've done a lot of great things together. I feel like we've given to the community and to that next generation. And Long Beach City College was a place where I learned how to do that. The folks who are here, who mentored me, who took care of me, my teammates who I enjoyed our days with, made a difference in my life. Long Beach City College was a great stepping stone for me to continue my college career. I got my AA here, took exactly 60 credits and moved on, took 64 at Long Beach State and graduated from there and continued. And this place was fantastic. It was free. We paid $2 for parking. It was close, but mostly it was the people here who gave us the ability to grow. And I am sincerely thankful for that. And I'm also, again, grateful to the committee for giving me this honor. I sincerely appreciate this is a great evening. Go Vikings.